want to know how you see the world. Do you seek out urban beauty? Or do you create your own landscapes? Maybe it's outdoor adventure that makes your world turn. Let us bring your passion into focus and give you the best view yet. At Botwin Eye Group and Oculus Optical, we defy the norms by combining advanced medical eye care with Santa Fe's finest selection of luxury and artful eyeglasses. Botwin Eye Group and Oculus Optical, 2 locations in Santa Fe.
Santa Fe Gloom Podcast. We're back with another really, really great guest. As always, I would like to thank our sponsors. We've got Santa Fe Dose. We've got City of Santa Fe Economic Development, Capital Ford, Age-Friendly Senior Care, The Pit Press. Thank you guys. Sam's Club, Mercedes-Benz of Santa Fe, and Botwin Oculus Eye Group. As always, thank you so very much for all the support you do for the Santa Fe Gloom, the community. Each of you all are all community leaders. So thank you so very much. Today, we've got a guest, Anthony Grant. Anthony, thank you so much for jumping on today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
So, Anthony, you or me wants to share the story of how we met.
Oh, man, we can do it both. I can go piece, you go piece, and say it makes it more smoother. Well, it was a couple years back. I had a game up in Sacramento, and I was at the airport at MCI in Kansas City.
Okay.
And I was just there with my bag and just dressed soccer-wise, game-liked. And David was there, and he came over, and he was like asking me. He's like, "Do you play?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I play. And he's like, he asked me what I played, which team I played for. So at the time, I was going to Sacramento for a game, outdoors. So I told him, "Yeah, I played here. I played indoor, which is MASL, for Kansas City Comets." And I explained that to him, and he was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Well, I'm here actually recruiting for a MASL team that I'm gonna bring to Santa Fe, New Mexico."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Wow, what a coincidence," So you can tell them the next part of it, how you approach as well.
Yeah, no, that was perfect. I mean, I just saw you, and that's my puppy Biscuit. He's gonna bark maybe a little bit. Yeah, man, I just saw you, and I was like, man, I bet you that guy plays soccer. And I was en route. I think I was coming home from Detroit, Michigan, where the combine was, the college combine. So I was recruiting MASL players, looking at and just trying to learn the environment of soccer and the MASL. So yeah, man, I mean, we just started talking, and you were like, yeah, like I played for the Kanas City Comets, and that was the league that I purchased into the MASL, and I was like, holy cow, like this is the jackpot. And then we just hit it off, like, and I think it just kind of goes to show, like, you just never really know, right? Like,
Yeah.
you never know. But I took that chance, and because I mean, it's in an airport, so like we had some time to kill.
Oh yeah.
And
then I think the flight was delayed a little bit too, so we had even more time to talk more soccer
Yeah.
interest,
No, exactly. And then you would show me all your videos, and that was super cool. I was like, oh man, this is awesome. So, I mean, we both hit the jackpot. It was super cool.
Definitely.
So yeah, I mean, it's great that you just make those crazy connections, and then we'll text back and forth. It's taken me at least 3 or 4 months to have you on to our podcast, right?
Yeah.
So you got a busy schedule. So
Yeah, very busy.
but talk us through your first soccer memories, just growing up as a kid.
Well, I'm originally from Kingston, Jamaica, born and raised, But my first soccer memory came from community soccer, at an early age. Honestly, I never even had a soccer ball growing up, really, until I was 6 years old. My mom bought me a soccer ball, and to be honest, it wasn't a soccer ball. It was one of those it's more like a beach ball type, if you know what I mean. Yep. But it has the soccer marks over it, make it look like a soccer ball. But I used to just in my yard kicking bottles, boxes, and all those things, just, because I like the sport. I wasn't allowed to go outside in the streets to play, but I would stay by my gate because the guys used to play like probably 30 meters from my gate. So when they'll take a shot towards that goal, the ball will run down, and that's when I get a chance to touch that ball and pass it back and all of those. So that's where I remember it started from, and the love for the sport comes from there. Fast forward to that, I started to play with the community team, which is like locally right there. So some of those guys, they have a club there, and they started to bring us in a community club that play all sports. It's not only soccer. It play cricket, it play
Yeah.
netball for females, everything, and soccer. So that's where I started to get into the club soccer part of it there. Yeah.
And fast forward to coming to the United States and pursuing college soccer and pro soccer.
Well, I have to touch back to high school because that's where the big break came. For me to even get the recognition, to be even people started to come out here to look at me from at Jamaica to bring me over here. I played club soccer as I said, but I never played for high school. And in Jamaica, high school soccer is huge. Yeah, that's
Yep.
one of the biggest.
Yeah.
High school soccer is the biggest, hands down. And once you're doing well, everybody in the country knows who you are. So I have a lot of coaches that play a role in my development growing up and helped me to become a better player. But one of the coaches that actually put me on the map is David Hunt. I mean, he passed away back in 2007. May his soul rest in peace. He's a guy. He's a coach that actually gave me the opportunity. Because I went for a team that already won a national title the year before, and they have everybody from that team return.
Mhm.
And I was a new player that came in, and I'll be training all summer with 30, 50 spots. Can't make that spot. And he came every day and he watches how I play and stuff. And one time how I got my break, it's the starting forward. His calf was hurting, and
Yeah.
coach said, "Well, sit down a little bit. We're not gonna rush it. And so he every day after we do our drills, we kind of scrimmage. 11v11, and he's picking the team, and he picked the team and he pointed to one of my teammates, said, "You play forward," and then he pointed in my direction. Because remember, I'm on the A team, B team, I'm pretty much on the C team.
Hmm.
So they pointed in my direction and said, "Hey, you play forward." So I was so shocked because I wasn't involved in the A team before, never in the B team. I was always on the C team, just working hard. So I kind of looked behind me because I'm, yeah, I'm not expecting that he's gonna give me a chance from the. I don't even because at the time the A team had a dark green jersey, the C team had a light green jersey for practice jersey, and we just had pennies. So he said, "Hey, you play forward." And I'm like, "Me, coach?" He said, "Yeah, you play." I got my opportunity there, and that day I scored 4 goals. And he told him right after I gave him a chance, and he delivered. I can't take him off. So from that day, that's where the big break came. That season I ended up being scoring the most goals. I lost the golden boot by maybe 2 goals for the team that year. We went to the semifinals, and then that's where it started. One
And that was in
opportunity.
Jamaica, correct?
This wasn't in Jamaica. So
Okay.
because of that opportunity, now I ended up after he passed away the following year, and I ended up transferred, and I ended up winning the whole title with the next school, which I was a leading goal scorer again, and there was my career started to grow, you know. So right away I didn't even make it to the US instantly. I ended up going to a university for 2 years after that in Jamaica, which is the University of the West Indies. And develop. And then from there, I moved to the US. I got a scholarship. Not even trying to, I was just playing against more kids and high school kids who wanted a scholarship. And coaches came down from here and saw me and they're like, "We want that guy."
And you went to a university, is that correct, in the United States?
Yes, I
Got it.
went to the university. I transferred over
Got it.
here.
Yeah, I'm going to show some clips. And then this is USL, right? I'm going to show it.
Yes. Yes.
Let's see. So you became known as the goal machine.
Goal machine. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, so tell us, I mean, it's not always sunshine and rainbows for sure. I mean, even the Santa Fe Gloom, we have, our days where, community didn't necessarily believe in a pro soccer team,
Mhm.
and we overcome those obstacles. So tell our audience and our Santa Fe community on, some of the hard things that you had to go through, and maybe some of the people that didn't believe in you, and then you come out and you're the goal scoring machine.
Hey, as I said, it's as it started off from an early age in regards to just the opportunity. I was always trying to go there, and sometimes I'll go to tryouts and it never worked. But like in regards to adversity that happened, perfect example. I see you have Richmond Kickers right there on the
Hmm.
screen that I played for in the USL. Fun fact. I mean, it's fun right now, but back then it was a little bit tough. So when I finished college, I came to the US and I did 3 years of college, right?
Hmm.
I finished with 40 plus something goals with both universities because I went to both university here. And so I was expecting to get into the draft. Never happened. So right after the draft, it didn't happen. Right after I finished that year, I went to some tryouts. So Richmond Kickers was one of the tryouts that I went to. Open tryouts. It's not like it's just open.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I traveled down there. I practiced for 3 days, and at the end, the coach said that he was gonna put a team together of the guys that he liked to play against the first team to see how they manage. I didn't even get picked in that. I didn't get picked in that 11 or 15 guys to play against that team. So I left, a little disappointed. I mean, like, man, I think I did well, didn't get
Hmm.
a chance. So, but I reached home because I was staying in New York at the time. I jumped back on the bus, the Greyhound, because, back to New York, because, you're coming from college, sometimes the long drive that it is. And I went home, and by the time I get home, I checked my email, and there was an email from Richmond saying I should come back for next week for a full week, with the train now with the team. So I'm like, I didn't even make the game, but I got invited to train with the team because their season starts. So long story short, I practiced with the team for a week, and at the end it was a Friday. I remember it like yesterday. The coach came to me and he was like, "We like what you're doing, and we know I'm international, so the international spots to get into this league is tough.
Yeah, it's less
You know,
players.
less players. You have like what, five or so." So he came to me and said, "We like you and we want to sign you. We want to offer you a contract." So that was in the morning after practice. Everybody come. The assistant coach said, "Hey, congratulations!" And I was like, shake everybody on the team. Some of the guys there said, "Welcome." I felt great. This was around March or April of 2014. Later in that evening, I got a call from the coach. After I told my mom everybody was happy. Whoa, congrats. And then I got a call and he said it's not gonna work.
Mm.
So the verbal congrats and the contract that he told me about, he said it's not gonna work because of they realized that the spots for international is gonna be limited with all the affiliation, the Major League Soccer affiliations and all. So that was a very, very disappointed day for me. Like I never even knew what to say. I didn't even knew what to do after that. And he said to me, "Hey, go play some PDL, which was PDL at the time, which is now USL 2,
Okay.
USL 2. And if you're doing well, we always want goal scorers. We always want players to come back, and we'll take a next look at you. But go play." That year, I had no choice. You know, didn't get in the combine. Got a contract offer. Then later, it was rescinded. It. So now I put my head down that year, put the work in. I went to go to play for Seacoast United, which let me give them a congrats on their national title this year.
Hmm.
They just won the USL 2. Congrats to
Yep.
Seacoast. That's my
Yep.
team.
Cool.
So I went there and I played that season. I finished with 14 goals at that time. I got beat the Golden Boot on the last day. The last day. Made the first team all PDL, everything. First team MVP finalist. That year, never even got a chance to go into a pro team for a tryouts. So again, you know what I mean? There goes the next, the mental aspect of it. Like you did so well and you never get a chance to live your dream, you know? So that was there. Then fast forward, fast forward now, the following year, which is 2015, I was like in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm gonna do this again because that's the only route I'm gonna be able to get to go to the pro leagues. So I was like, the only way I'm gonna do it, I gotta do this again. And this time instead of fall short on the final day, I'm gonna actually be the MVP and the leading goal scorer. And that year in 2015, I put my head down during that summer and I became the MVP
Hmm.
and also the leading goal scorer. And with even that, I never got the chance right away to just sign with a team. I had to go through some like what you call it now, tryouts.
Hmm.
And that's where you I went to Richmond again and I got the opportunity. And there that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's so tough, right, to break into those pro teams.
Yep.
But I mean, it's also such as life too. Just knowing you and texting you back and forth. We'll text each other just kind of out of the blue, like, "Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?" And you're
Yeah.
just saying like, just working hard. Just grinding 24/7. Whether it be coaching, playing, whatever it is. And I think that's just kind of the winning mentality we all need to have. And
Hmm.
even if you are the MVP, Golden Boot, you're still not guaranteed a spot, apparently.
Yes. Yes, you're not. You still have to go there and
Yep.
prove that you can make the team because
Yeah.
I had to go there and do and train and try out. I had a 2 day tryout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And fast forward, so congratulations on that. That's super inspiring.
Thank you.
You're also a coach too to tell those stories to our Santa Fe Gloom community here in Santa Fe. It's amazing, because again, a lot of our players want to be and our guys are hungry. They're always trying to play, to train. And again, even though you make it to that tip top place, there's still another mountain you got to get to, you know.
Yeah.
And fast forward to MASL. Give us your scoring records and things like that, and give us that. And we've got one video, and then I've got a story to tell you on that video. It's a short video, it doesn't do you
Yeah.
justice on your career, and you've got more. You've showed me in the airport,
Oh
but I'll
yeah.
give a glimpse. But yeah, share the stories of MASL, and for our audience here in Santa Fe, this is what the Santa Fe Gloom could be like in the future. It's very possible that Santa Fe does arena soccer along with futsal.
Oh
So
yeah.
give us your perspective and just how much fun arena soccer is.
Man, arena soccer is actually fun because one thing I can say and I can be the I can talk about it because I've been through it, it gets you ready for if you want to aspire a career in outdoor playing on outside outdoor arena soccer is going to get you sharp for that touch wise, time wise on the ball, so I actually enjoyed it. I played in Syracuse first, which is Syracuse Silver Knight, and this is even before I even went outdoor to play professional. And I play for Kansas City Comets and St. Louis Ambush as well. But it was fun, man. Like I scored some good goals as a rookie, some nice, exciting ones. The crowd. It's great. Atmosphere is great. So as you can see there on that video that I'm seeing right now. Yep. So yeah, I enjoyed my time playing MASL. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think? Did it cater to your game more so than outdoor?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it helps you to get better for
Hmm.
outdoor,
Yeah.
which is no doubt the touch, because you're playing in a small space. You have to have good first touch. You have to have good body positioning. Decision making has to be quicker. and you just have to know where the ball is gonna go before you even receive it in a short time, short space. And again, you're sprinting too as well, so it definitely sharpened me up.
Yeah, the ball never goes out of bounds, or at
Nope.
least very, very rarely does it go out of bounds.
Yes.
Yeah. So, quick story. I don't want to deviate off your story, but I was in Chicago at
Mm-hmm.
the MASL like owners meeting, and it was New York. It was Utica, New York, I believe if that's how you pronounce it. They
Mm-hmm.
had an MASL one team there. And I started talking to the general manager, and he said, "Well, where are you from?" I said, "Santa Fe, New Mexico. We just started an arena soccer team there." And he's like, he looked at me kind of strange. And I was like, "What's up with this dude?" And he's like, you owe me money, he told me. And I was like, I don't think so. But he was like, he was a little angry. And he's like, "You're the guy who has our turf and you never paid us back." And I was like, "No, I was like, we need turf. I'll buy some turf, but we don't have your turf." Long story short, we actually do have this Dave and Buster's turf in Santa Fe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was actually correct on this. I just didn't purchase it. It was another person, I believe, in Albuquerque purchased the turf, and then another person in Santa Fe purchased the
It's a
turf.
turf.
And that turf, I promise you, it's maybe 4 or 5 minutes away from where I live right now in a storage container. Long
Oh,
story short, crazy, right?
oh,
And it
wow.
was the guy, I guess, in Albuquerque that didn't pay him back, but the guy in Santa Fe purchased it from Albuquerque. And the reason I know that is because they said it has the Dave and Buster's logo on there. And then I sent the general manager in New York the Dave and Buster's, because we unrolled it here in Santa Fe, and sure enough, it was that turf.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because like that turf is memorable, man, for me.
Oh,
That's a turf I make my professional debut, whether
wow.
indoor or outdoor indoor soccer. And that's where I make my professional debut on that turf.
I'm gonna cut you a piece of that turf and I can
I,
send it to you.
hey, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah, because it's down the street from where I live. So
Oh man.
yeah, so that's pretty cool. And I think another thing too that it showcases is like the soccer world is also really small. You
Very
know,
small.
it's so small. I've learned that. I mean, just connections that I've had just with
Mhm.
futsal and the MASL, coaches, players. It's a very small community. And I think the reason why is because there's not many coaches. There's only so many teams, and there's really only so many players. So being a part of this alumni of USL, MASL is a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's a huge compliment. So, but yeah, I just wanted to share that story of that turf. But yeah, it's down the street from me.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh wow. That turf is memorable, as I say.
no, that's
Memorable.
cool.
It's always been going to be part of me.
And do you want to talk about your music career as well? We can touch on that,
Oh yeah.
just
So
on how you got started.
well, music for me has been from the same time as soccer. Always been doing music, whether it's being in the choir or whether it's high school and stuff like that. But it's crazy thing is like I get into composing because I was a composer for before I was actually artist, composer, producer. I really got into it like when I was playing the pros. So you practice in the morning. You have the all day. You free time. So I practice in the morning. I go home, rest up, then after I make some beats and I go outside again, do some extra work. Cause as a pro, you got to put the work in, the extra work. That's going to separate you from everybody else. So when I have a lot of time, like even if I'm getting an 8 hour, 9 hour on a sleeper bus,
Yeah.
and I'm not sleeping, I will have my laptop and I will be composing, making beats. And I'm a producer, composer. So I make beats for artists until somebody was like, "Man, you're making some good beats. Why not you just jump on one of your beat just for once,
So
And
you're like the Dr. Dre.
yes,
Yeah,
I'm
because that's
making
what he
beats.
did, right? He did the
Yeah,
beats, I think. Yeah.
yeah, I was making beats.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Jump on your beat, man." I'm like, "Nah, I'm not an artist. I'm not a writer. I just want to stay low key. I don't want that part of I want to be behind the scenes, making the beats." So it reached a point where I said, "Okay," decided I'm gonna jump on one of my beat, and I released my first track, which is called "Love It" back in 2019. That was the first official track for me as an artist. And that track actually did really well. It was everybody likes that track. It would be playing at the MASL games.
I saw that.
MASL would have used it for some of their highlights, weekly highlights, and
Yep.
all that. So that was great, and I appreciate them for that. And that song was probably the biggest song that people know me for, and it was my first one on one of my beat that I produced. So that's where the music career actually took off. But before that, as I said, I used to do it from I was a kid, like singing and choir. But that's when, during my pro time, when I have that time, the composition, and then I transition to the artist part of it. So yeah, so definitely.
Yeah, I'm looking at this one too here. I thought this one was really cool as well. This had a good message to it.
Yes, invincible.
Yeah. So I think for me, this is what, I see, like this was like your inner being coming out, and really just, this was kind of like your life. This is kind of what you went through with your
Hmm.
soccer journey in a lot of ways too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sometimes you want to get up and you're like, man, I'm tired. You got to get up. You got to go out there and put the work in.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams.
Yeah. No, I just saw this maybe about 10, 15 minutes ago before we jumped on, and I was like, that's it. This is perfect.
This is the one.
This is it. Yeah. So I think it tells so much about your personality and just young people like us, and how hard it is really to succeed. Just kind of reflecting back on my own business. I own a senior care business. This is the 10th year.
Hmm.
Dude, I do this 24/7, 365, rain or shine. My clients are running around doing their thing, calls, texts all the time. But that's what it takes to get to that next level of
Yeah.
stability, financial stability, all of those things. It just takes so much grind and so much work.
Oh yeah.
And that's exactly what this video is too, just putting in those work that a lot of people don't see, that I'm just working all the time. And same with these characters in this music video. You guys are just going at it.
Yeah, they're going at it, and there's time when adversities are there. If you notice, they're trying some tricks. We're pushing the weights, and it's
Yeah.
it's not there, and we keep working, until we get where we wanted to be. So that I'm glad you like this message, and it's a good message for young athletes out there as well. To keep on pushing regardless of the adversity. Don't forget to keep reaching out for your goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is totally off track too, but I was listening to a Stone Cold Steve Austin, the WWE character.
Yeah.
Same thing. He was in the WWE or some facet of like WCW for like 10 years before they came up with the character of Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Wow.
and then he took off. But it was 10 years he was in, because that's why he had such a short career in the WWE, because he was only in it for maybe like 5, 6 years. But he
Yeah.
took off during that time period. But by then he was older, you know?
Hmm.
So, and he's just like, yeah, like I was in this thing and I almost gave up. Vince McMahon, the owner of the WWE, he was like, yeah, this guy was just wasting my time. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin became just the biggest
The biggest, one of
wrestler.
the
Yeah, the
biggest
biggest one
stars
of all of
ever.
them. Yeah, he's like Hulk Hogan, and people who don't even know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is, they know that it's WWE. He's like The Rock, things like that. So it just goes to show, man, that how much work it really takes. And your story again is a great example of that. So it's
Yeah,
definitely cool. It's a great message.
yeah, definitely, definitely. I always tell them like keep on pushing because you're gonna have times when you're gonna feel like you wanna stop. But here's the deal: you have to just keep on pushing because in life, in everything you do, adversities comes around. So right now, I coached for United Springfield Academy, and I coach a 2008 girls, 2013 boys. Well, the 2008 girls, I have to give them a shout out because I told them I'm going to give them a shout out on the next interview I do because they had a
Perfect.
great. They just went to the National Cup Finals, representing the Missouri, the Midwest actually at the National Cup Finals, and I just want to let them know that I'm proud of them for that. We're from a small area here in Southwest Missouri,
Yeah.
and soccer is not the biggest thing around here. And for them to go out and represent the whole Midwest at the National Cup and make the finals, that's a great achievement. So shout out to Springfield United 2008 girls. And as I said, I always tell them, if you want to have the happy days and the glory days, you got to put the work in. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be adversities, but we got to keep on pushing. And when we come with it, we got to enjoy what we're doing. Got to make it fun. Sometimes we're gonna do the boring drills, the,
Yep.
the one that you don't want to do, but those are the most important ones. So I just tell them that, and show them how to get that joy while doing those hard part of it and the boring part of it. So just giving them a shout out as well for that.
Yeah, no, congratulations from the
Thank
Santa Fe
you.
community, all of our sponsors, and thank you for leading those young, those young ladies, because they're going to be business owners, teachers,
Yeah.
so it's so important that we raise them the right way and give them options and give them ideas and we bring them up the right way. So
Yeah,
thank you for
definitely.
that.
Ah, you're welcome, man. Definitely,
Yeah.
because as we say, and we when we teach, we're not just teaching only soccer. We're gonna teach them how it's gonna be in the world, the working world, because
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough sometimes in the working world. But they already used to being pushed certain way, used
Yep.
to being shown the toughness, so they can translate that into the working world and say, I've seen that before. I know how to handle that. I know what to do there. And if my boss is pushing me a certain way, he knows what I can do. He believes in me. Just want me to work harder.
That's
So
right.
yeah.
Yeah. And even touching on like the boring drills stuff, obviously we want to go and scrimmage or shoot the ball.
Yes, everybody wants
Everyone
that.
wants that. But again, I'll make another reference. You look at like Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, they're doing the same type of routine over and over and
Over
over
and
again.
over.
And he's perfected it. Like he's the guy, right? But he still does it every single day when he was in his career over and over again, perfecting his craft even that much more, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Repetition.
it's exactly, and even in the drills that you showed in the music video, it's the same exact thing. You're just doing the same thing over and over
Over and
again.
over.
And Kobe Bryant, same way. He was doing those drills, he was doing those shots over and over again. So talent can get you only so far, right? But it's actually going to be the practice and everything else that gets
Yes,
you over.
definitely. Definitely. Definitely
So
for sure.
cool. Anthony, what did we miss? We've covered a lot.
It's college, Ken. There's a lot I could tell you because there's a lot of adversity, there's a lot of motivational. Because I want to share the story, to motivate other kids. Because I've been there in all shape, form, and but we can always do it again, because there's always stories here. So
We're going to have you back on. Yeah, even some of your ladies who want to join you, we would
yeah.
love to have them jumping on too and just sharing their stories and their success stories. One thing that I can also share with the Santa Fe Gloom is we definitely want to see how we can have a women's Gloom futsal team.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So that's kind of the next steps because everyone who I talk to in the community, I'll say, yeah, we've got a pro futsal Santa Fe Gloom team. And they'll say, well, do you have women's teams? That's always the follow-up question. And I'm like, okay, just hold tight. Let's see what we can do.
All right, there you go.
You know,
There we go.
so we've got you in Kansas City area, Missouri, to feed us some good ladies, some good
Yeah,
talent.
for sure. I got you. I got you. As they say, soccer is a small world. Small. The circle is very small.
Yeah,
So that's the beauty of it. You know. So yeah, definitely.
cool. Anthony, thank you so much. We definitely want to have you back on. I'm so glad the universe connected us, man. It
Oh, me
was
too.
it was so cool, man. I mean, we always touch base. Took you so long because you've been so busy. Me too, man, with my schedule to arrange a time that we can jump on. But you're a huge inspiration, even for me when I started out in this journey. You were one of the first guys I talked to,
Yeah.
and it was like an omen for me talking to you in Kansas City. And I was like, you know what? This is cool. Like, if I can get around people like Anthony, this is going to be in a good experience, just like for myself, just being selfishly speaking. I was like, this is going to be really fun. And then our Gloom players, when we're on the road and traveling, I mean, these guys are hilarious. I mean, it goes back just to like your college days, and it's just super fun to be around that type of energy,
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure, for sure. When I talked to you, I was inspired. The fact that you have a dream and you're trying
yeah,
to accomplish that dream, and you tell
yeah,
me certain things about it, I'm like, man, I actually respect that, and I
yeah,
respect the grind, I respect the drive, and I actually even get motivation from it too as well. So it goes like that. They were saying iron sharpen iron, but if you're a motivated person, like you can also motivate people as well, just even by a simple conversation like that, what we have.
yeah.
So
No, it was definitely life changing, and it was just the sign that I was in the right direction, and it was super cool. So thank you so much for being patient with me and my learning curve. And I bet you someday we'll have a Santa Fe Gloom Arena soccer team. I
Oh,
don't
for
think it's
sure.
so far fetched, man. And you can come back out of retirement. So
Hey, I would like to just knock out those boots, the dust off, and then come back out.
yeah, for our listeners, you can see the ticker on the bottom, and it says ex professional soccer player, and I put that down there. And Anthony's like, "Well, hey, I'm not really an ex professional soccer player. I
Yeah,
can still play."
I
So,
haven't officially retired, so I always keep in shape. I'm running every day, just like, so I'm ready. I'm ready when you are, in other words.
cool. All right, Anthony, thank you so much for the conversation. From our Santa Fe community to our sponsors, we thank you for everything you're doing, being a great mentor, coach, all of those things. Just a great person. So we thank you. We'll have you back
Thank
on.
you. Thanks for
Cool.
having me as well. I appreciate it being here, and you guys have a great one. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thanks, Anthony.
All righty. All right. Bye.